Hello lovelies, so welcome to another weekly analysis with RejoiceMuna, and we're looking at Eurusd again. So I had to go back to the drawing board because my analysis started acting up, so I had to go back to the drawing board and I saw something different. That is why it's not good to in January to rush your trade, because sometimes your trade might just be ranging and you would think it's giving you a direction. So I went back to the drawing board. I went back to the monthly time frame. Now, like I said, your US in the monthly time frame is bullish. Yeah, you could draw the trend line and see that it's bullish. Is only going to get bearish when it breaks these particular low. That is when it's going to get bearish, when it breaks this particular low. That's the low that made this high. Okay, the low that made this high. So for now, we're still continuing the trend. Now, when it did this, when it got to this point, it did a market structure shift, to show that it wants to continue going back up, which it did. Yeah, it did the market structure shift. But after the market structure shift, there was an inducement, then price was supposed to come back to this level. Yeah. So, but price, I just had to look at it very, very closely. Price hasn't actually mitigated that zone. So price might eventually come down to that zone. Now, if price does not come back to that zone, price needs to break this lower high. Price needs to break this lower high. Price needs to break this lower high to be sure that this bullish trend is working. Like, we're going to be really bullish. Price needs to break this lower high. That is the lower high that caused the lower low. Okay, the lower high that caused the lower low. That's from the beginning. The lower high that caused the lower low. Price needs to break this. And of course, price hasn't broken that yet. So can you see why I said we're still in a range? We don't really know what's going on yet until it either goes down to break the higher low that caused this higher high, to break this higher low, that caused this higher high. That's this higher low here that caused this higher high, or it breaks this lower low that caused this lower high that caused this lower low, so that price can probably get up to this point. Okay, so that is what I am seeing now. Now let me show you where we are at the moment. I don't know if I'm making sense, but this is just what I had to calm down and look at my charts, and that is what I saw. So our perspective obviously might be different, but this is what I am seeing from my own charts. Okay, so now look at this. For this pullback, pending when it breaks this higher low, price has been bearish from this. You can see price has been bearish, right? So price has been bearish. All right. So let me just delete this because I have a lot of I just want to be seeing my chart a bit. I just want to be seeing my charts a bit more clear. Okay, so let's see what the price is doing at the moment. So yeah, looking at this, price did something like this. Price did something like this. Went up. Yeah, came down here. It didn't break. Can you see? It didn't break this low. Went back here, came down here, and now broke this low. Okay, but it didn't get to, you know, my POI. So I'm thinking price would still go back here and then do what? Come down before eventually going all the way up. Okay, this is what I feel price would do. This is just my own bias, all the way up, or eventually breaks here, and then when it does that, it could, or eventually breaks here. Okay, so this is what I think price would do. This is just my own bias. Okay, I may be wrong, but this is what I'm seeing in my charts. Now, because price broke this, we are actually waiting for price to break above this. Okay, so if price does not, when price gets here, so this point I marked, here, when price gets here, all I'm going to watch out for is what I call the market structure shift, to see whether it gives me a market structure shift. And if it does give me a market structure shift, I would know that, okay, this is still bearish, and then I might take it down up to this level, then watch what it does afterwards. Otherwise, if it does not give me a market structure shift here, all I'll do is wait for it to do what? To break. Wait for it to do what? To break this level. If it breaks this level, it means that it's going to also break this level. It's also going to break this level because it's going to do what we call a trend line liquidity sweep. It's going to sweep this trend line. It's going to break this level also. And when it eventually breaks this level, it now shows that the bias is changing. That is what we now call the market structure shift. And then we can now consider whether this is actually now back to the bullish behavior. Okay, so when it breaks this level, if it eventually breaks this level, let me show you. If it breaks this level, yeah, price eventually breaks this level, this is what it's going to do. It's going to go up like this, then pull back a bit, then continue going up. Okay, so this is likely what is going to happen. Is either it does the first one or it does the second one. You know, in the market, it's all about probability. The only thing you have control about is your risks, how much you are risking, your SL. Okay, so because market can decide to do whatever it wants to do. So that's about that. So whichever one you want to do, all you have to do is to probably wait. But for the meantime, For the meantime, because I have a POI here, so I'm still waiting for price to get to this POI and give me a market structure shift, or break through this POI, causing another market structure shift, okay, which is now going to lead me to the second alternative part, which it will break structure and then pull back a bit and start being bullish. Okay, so this is my bias for Euro USD. Please follow me for more analysis, RejoiceMuna, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also follow me on all my socials. Thank you so much. Bye.